Chicago lawmen seize a 4-acre field of marijuana. Retail value, $4 million. And they face the problem of disposing of the illicit crop before it goes to seed. Sheriff Lohman's answer? Call in the Marines. Marijuana is a weed and spreads like crabgrass once it goes to seed. But 3 Marines armed with flamethrowers live up to the Corps' boast. They have the situation well in hand.
Yeah, so we've been in the studio recording a new album called Cloud 9. The reason we call Cloud 9 is the 9th studio full-length album for the Kottonmouth Kings called Cloud 9. It has 22 tracks on it. It has, I think it's the ultimate Kottonmouth King record. We have great special guest appearances on it. Kottonmouth Kings did a track with Insane Clown Posse called Think For Yourself. We shot a video for it in LA. It's going to be on the DVD. The CD Cloud 9 has 22 tracks and the full-length DVD with a bunch of videos. We got a collaboration with the Insane Clown Posse. First time ever the Kottonmouth Kings and Insane Clown Posse have been together on a video. So it's pretty cool. We had a great time. Shot in LA. Shot in LA and just had a good time filming. That's going to be on the DVD. We also did a collaboration with Tech 9, who we're on tour with right now, the Strange Noise tour. It's for a song called City to City, a song we closed with tonight. We went to Vegas and shot a video for that. It's on the internet right now, and it's also on Cloud 9, the song City to City. So something we decided to do together, just to come together, songs about going city to city, what we do. Pretty much we're blasting off on a 2-month tour here, the Strange Noise Music Festival. We got Blaze Your Dead Homie on it, Subnoize Soldiers, Head PE, Tech 9, and the Kottonmouth Kings on one bill. So it's pretty sick bill, you know what I mean? People are really feeling it all over, and it's just. And we also did a collaboration on Cloud 9 with the mighty Cypress Hill. You know, we've done some stuff with them in the past. A song called Riding High. We do Be Real. Then Be Real actually produced a track called Lodi's on it, and Send Dog stopped by for a song called Dark Side. Those are the collaborations we did on Cloud 9. Other than that, it's a full-length Kottonmouth King, 22 tracks. We have some rip-hop, sinister hip-hop on it, some real stony shit. I think it's the ultimate Kottonmouth King record drops August 28th on Subnoize Records. And yeah, we're just going to be on the road. Matter of fact, the last day of this tour is the day that we come home the day the record comes out. So then we'll do a bunch of West Coast record release parties, and then we plan on probably doing a tour for that sometime in November or something, November, December. Well, the reason we do spin-off groups, Kingspade, Johnny, Richard, and D-Lo group, is because we can. We have our own record label, and we love making music. It's what we do. So we just, you know, when we're home, we have time to make music. Kingspade is just a side project of the Kottonmouth Kings. I put out solo records. Bobby B does his own records. You know, it's something we all do. You know, because we have our own label, we have the liberty and freedom to record as much music as we want. That's what we like to do. That's what we do. So when we have time to record, everyone likes to do their own thing. You know, it's cool when you're in a group. You know, when there's 5 people in the group making music, and sometimes Kottonmouth Kings, like, we come together and like there's more chefs in the kitchen, and it's a bigger board, like, so not everybody maybe gets their full flex on a Kottonmouth King record. So that's when they could explore other, you know, musical avenues they want to do, you know, go down. I think it helps everybody grow. Just always be making music and always just be expanding and growing as artists and as writers, and you know. It's just, that's what we do, you know what I mean? So it's like, anytime we get into to make a record, we'll do it, you know. You know what? We don't try to reinvent ourselves, you know what I mean? We just try to magnify ourselves in what we do, and we make music that we like to make, and it's just kind of what we do. So it's something we just love to do. So the inspiration is always coming, you know. It's like making music and writing songs. That's the gift of it all. That's the easy part. I mean, that's getting out there and grinding out and touring and doing all the other stuff. That's the, you know, time away from the family and time away from your life. So that's the stuff that is more the hard part. But making the music's easy. You know, we just do it, and as long as people still feel what we do, and we still feel what we do, number one, you know, as long as we still enjoy making music and making records, that's why we still make them. You know. You know, just everybody, the cool thing about technology is we could all be in different spots and shoot each other different ideas. You know, we all have home studios, so and then we'll come together in the studio and do it. But making beats, like as soon as the beat's made, I can shoot it off to everybody and, you know, get their feedback right away that day. You know, we have all technology. Of course, we use in the studio itself. First of all, no matter what technology there is, yes, of course, there's things about technology and recording that makes it easier for people to just record at home and all that kind of stuff. But it doesn't mean, at the end of the day, you still got to make good music and good beats and shit like that. You can have all the technology in the world, but if you can't, you know, put it together and make it, you know, and write a song with it, you know, come with good bass lines and, you know, chord changes and make good music with it. I mean, you could have all the technology in the world. Now I could have a shitty ass, you know, SBC and MPC and all, you know, come up with something dope on it. You know what I mean? And I could have the shittiest recorder in the world, but you could have the best technologies. But can you make a good beat? You know what I mean? And write good songs. Some of the best songs are just fucking acoustic guitar. You know what I mean? Pick up acoustic guitar and write a song. It's simple, but without any technology. Technology is great. You know what I mean? But it's not. That's not necessarily the creation of the song. It's maybe the production of the song, but not the creation of the music. And you know, you still got to sit down and write. And it's not. And the thing where technology has really been beneficial is actually promoting the records too. You know what I mean? Like as far as the internet and getting the word out, being able to communicate with your fan base, and cutting out middlemen like big corporations that always trying to get a piece of the pie. You go directly to the people that want to get it. There's no middleman. I think that's why people still buy our records and still like support the Kottonmouth Kings, probably because there's that element to it. You know, they feel a personal connection to the band. As far as the pop charts and all that kind of stuff, us personally, we kind of exist outside all the pop charts and stuff like that. We're a kind of underground force and movement that exists outside the mainstream. That's what we do call it, an underground movement. And you know, I mean, even though the record industry as a whole, obviously, people aren't getting their music the traditional ways, like buying CDs. I mean, Tower Records are closed down, all the independents are closed down. Pretty much the only people selling CDs are Best Buys and Walmarts and Circuit Cities, and bands like Kottonmouth Kings and a lot of hip-hop groups can't even get in those stores because of the lyrical content, you know what I mean? Because they're family stores. So it doesn't mean that less people aren't getting the music, you know what I mean? It may be on the charts of the traditional record sales, maybe it's down, but it doesn't mean that double the people aren't hearing those songs because of the internet, because of technology, you know? So I don't think it's a proper gauge on the people actually getting the music. They might not be physically going to the store and buying a CD like they used to. It doesn't mean they're not. More people aren't listening to it because of tech. That's the thing about technology is we have a record company, so yeah, we depend on people to buy CDs to keep our business, but we have to figure out creative ways to stay in business. We tour, make T-shirts, and digitally to make it more interesting for the people, because I know that most people nowadays don't get their music by walking the store and buying a CD. You know, it doesn't mean fewer people are getting the music, more people are getting the music. This Kottonmouth Kings, you know, it blows me away how many people get the music through digital, through the computer, you know. We did the song with them. The song came out great. It's called Think For Yourself. I thought they ripped it up because they went back and forth, and it's just a good collaboration we did together, and they were in LA doing their last tour. I just called them up and I said, I think we should do a video for this track, you know, and they were down with it. We sent a car for them. They played the Grove that night during the day. They came down. We had a studio down in LA, like a green screen room, and just had a great time, man. Came down and spent the day with them, and, you know, made a video, and it just came out killer. It's real fun. It's kind of a spoof on pop culture. It's kind of a spoof on, like, you know, just all the Us magazines and the fascination we have as a culture with, like, celebrities and Britney Spears and Paris Hilton's of the world. So the whole thing's kind of a spoof on that. You know what I mean? It's telling people, think for yourself, you know, just about pretty much don't do like they do. It's a sick world. You just got to stay true. That's kind of the hook. Stay true and everything will be cool. You got to blaze your own trails and make your own rules. You know, that's the hook right there. What you do when you do that is like, yeah, as far as Subnoize having, we do have a lot of groups on the label, and of course it is a responsibility to each artist you have. You know what I mean, when you sign it. But the way we do it is we do a lot of group promotion. A lot of fans come to the site, so they find out about the other bands. We tour with a lot of the bands all the time. So, like, I look at Suburban Noise as a platform for those artists to put music out, but they're in the business of, like, Head PE's in the Head PE business. we're the platform for distribution and marketing them, but then they got to run their own business. We're not a babysitting service, you know what I mean? Same with every band, there's got to be like self-motivated artists to drive their own career. I mean, they got to get out and grind. We can't do that for them. As long as we have artists that understand the reality. Part of our job with Subnoize Records is lifting the mask and the illusion of what the music industry is. Everyone has a real weird illusion, thinking that everyone's riding around limos and paid and sitting by, millionaires just if you can put out a record or something. But it's a lot of hard work, and very few of those people, really, very few artists really can make a living doing it. So we just try to find creative ways to promote them and give them a home and a place to put out records. And the internet's been great because they can promote themselves. You got MySpace pages, and so as far as problems, maybe it's not a problem for us. Maybe some bands don't get the attention they maybe want or deserve. But I say to them that go do it yourself. Go out there and you guys do do marketing promotion. No one's stopping you. There's no difference between me and you. So we encourage bands to really empower themselves. Then I think that's how it works. A lot of artists on a major label are really at the mercy of the label, but it's not like that. We're kind of more like like punk rock kind of labels. Like the band's got to go make it happen for themselves. We'll do what we can. We'll get you out there. It's a good home. It's a good foundation. A lot of people come to check out what's going on. But at the end of the day, you got to get out there, and the artist has to get out there and grind. It's not like when we explain that to them going in, we're partners with our bands. We do really unique deals. We do 50-50 deals with all our bands. So it's really kind of a but the philosophy behind it was to empower the artists to empower themselves. So I'm not your boss. I'm not your label. I'm your partner. I'll help facilitate you getting records made and getting them into stores and getting promoted. But you got to do the rest. If you work hard, then we'll both benefit. So it's got to be both. It's a two-sided relationship. Violent J called me a couple weeks ago, and he was like, "Man, what can we do to get the Kings on the gathering of the Juggalos this year?" And when we booked the tour, we had actually called over there because we wanted to try and plan it in a tour schedule. At that point, I think they were still kind of putting it together, and they couldn't give us a definite answer, so we had to go ahead and book the tour, because obviously these tours get booked months in advance, and we were on the East Coast. I think we're in New York City and Boston and all those places the weekend of the gathering. But he called me, and we tried to work it out, to get the Kings to the gathering. We haven't done it in a couple of years, and it didn't work out. It was one of the funnest times I ever had going to the gathering. So that's why we wish we could have done it. But a lot of these promoters, when we do book tours, they put deposits down on the band, and we really don't like. It's hard for us to cancel, and the promoters, and for fans that have bought tickets who get really disappointed in those cities. So it was impossible. But we did talk about definitely next year that the Kings would be coming to the gathering next year. Look for that Kottonmouth King Think For Yourself video on the Kottonmouth King CD. It's going to be on the DVD. It's the first video on there. It's pretty classic. I think it's Shaggy, T-Dub, and Violent J at their finest. They're just going off each other. It's funny. It's clever. It's really good. It's good to have Blaze Your Dead Homie out on this tour. We always try to extend all the branch to Psychopathic, because we look at them as like we're kind of in parallel universes as far as like underdog, independent labels. So we try to but they always take out Subnoize Soldiers, X-Clan, some they on an ICP or Twisted tour. They always take a Subnoize act, and we return the favor to them. So this definitely, we both stand alone and have our own thing going, but we both have respect for what each other's doing, and we work together in a lot of different ways. Our bands are always doing collaboration songs together like that. Blaze is on the new Big B record. It's a 6th song called How Quickly They Forget, and then I think Big B went on their record. Twisted did a song with us on the Subnoize Soldiers record, a song called Dropping Bombs. So we just always try to, we're all doing the same grind, so, we just try to work together, I just want to say, to all the people that do support Subnoize Records and Kottonmouth Kings, we appreciate it, and you made this an incredible journey for us. You know, for 12 years that we're still. Well, it's one of the bigger underground stories in modern music. I would say the fact that the Kottonmouth Kings, this group of stoners from Southern California, have made this kind of impact on the world. We're just blessed to be in this position. We appreciate all the support of Kottonmouth Kings and Subnoize Records, and we try to put out good cutting-edge music. We've got a lot of great records coming out this year. We got Kottonmouth Kings, Head P has a record called Insomnia. Big B has a record called More to Hate. We have a record called King Clip, which brings Chucky Styles and Saint Dog and all the Kings together on one record. We got Send Dog from Cypress Hill. We signed to Suburban Noise. He has a record coming out called, I'm sorry, I forget the name of the record right now. I'm a little buzzed. I've been on stage now. But Send Dog's got a new record coming out. And then we just signed Mondo Generator, who was Nick Alveri for Queens of the Stone Age, his band. So they got a record out. We got D.I., who is a legendary punk rock group. Casey Royer's in the house tonight, but just an old school classic punk rock band from Southern California. The reason I signed D.I. is just because they were like, you know, Casey Royer, the singer, he started Social Distortion, The Adolescents, and Agent Orange, some of the most prominent and seminal punk rock groups from Southern California. So more out of respect, you know what I mean, that they still are playing around and grinding out in clubs and shit like that. So I thought, like, they're such a big influence on me when I was a kid growing up, going to their shows, that, you know, if I could ever give back to what, you know, the roots that influenced me, that's cool. That's why we did a song with TSOL some years back. You know, I mean, I come from more of an old school punk rock background. That was one of my biggest influences, old school punk rock. You know, when I was coming up here, Orange County's going to punk shows and shit. And so it's always good to give back to me. You know what I mean? To where you can. And then we got a new X Clan record coming out. X Clan just did a tour with the Insane Clown Posse. Brother J and the X Clan. It's if you never heard the first record, Return from Mecca, it's a phenomenal record. Brother J is probably one of the most talented artists I've ever been around. He beams positivity and just he's just just one of those human beings that just is a beacon of light, man. He's an amazing artist. Just to be able to work with people like that has been a dream come true. Everywhere we go, fans come out and still support the Kottonmouth Kings. We see people with tattoos and just showing up to the shows, and just all I can say is that it's humbling and we appreciate it. And you know, it may not be for everybody, but for the people that do like it, you know, we'll keep doing it for them.